and we want the fans out of their seat. We want to score goals. We want to give them, momentum on our side, and then on the flip side is when we don't have the ball, is it we got to be dogs.
And we are live. Welcome to Afterburn Soccer Show, everyone, as we talk about FC Dallas and North Texas, catch ourselves up on the latest news, and commiserate a little bit together. Feel the feelings of a really difficult week. Of course, I'm Nathan. You can follow me at Afterburn Soccer on X or on Blue Sky. And with me, of course, good buddy Jose. You can follow him at El Chico Carmona. And Colin Couve at Mr. Couve on Twitter, on X. So if you want to connect with us, ask us questions, you can do that. Or, of course, you can ask us questions in the YouTube channel here as we are live. We're streaming. We'll take your comments, your questions live. We usually get a few here and there as we go. But we have enough to get to start things off. A no good, terrible, awful, lame, disastrous week for FC Dallas. 2 home matches. Wednesday night against San Jose Earthquakes, and then on Saturday night against San Diego FC. And it just was not a good week. Both losses, 4-2 loss against San Jose with 2 red cards to add on as a little extra helping of pain and suffering. And then, of course, on Saturday night, to be up 2-1 early in the second half, and then to give up 2 goals to see San Diego come back and take the win at home in front of your fans once again. Yeah, this wasn't the week. We were not feeling this way on Tuesday night when we last chatted. We were feeling a little more hopeful that maybe FC Dallas was going to be in a good frame of mind, and this is just not good. So, Jose, where do we want to start? Looking back at the week,
I'd rather forget the week.
All right.
The San Jose meltdown was so bad. It just I could do was laugh. I think the bad thing about both losses is that in both matches the team gave us hope. They gave us hope. They gave us, hey, we're gonna pull this one out, and then both matches saw the team collapse down the stretch. In different ways, by the way. But in all honesty, it was tough. I mean, it was considering what we knew going into the San Diego game. I mean, 3-2 seems kind of fair, if I'm being honest. But it was the fact that the team had a chance to win or at least get a draw out of it, and then failed to do it, failed to show any chance of maintaining that. It was hard losses to take, both of them.
Colin, I assume you were there for both matches?
I was, sadly. It was not fun. I mean, something that me and a couple of guys talked about Saturday at the game was, Saturday was probably our best performance overall at home. I mean, we won against Kansas City, but that was the game from start to finish. Besides, like the little last 20 minutes of the game, that literally we played the best at home we had played all season. and we let it go in the last 15, 20 minutes.
True.
The game against San Jose, god awful. I'm not even gonna sit here and try to like sugarcoat it. It was 2-2, and then you get nice little red cards. You gotta love those. The one on Kaike, I mean, you can argue it all day long that it's chest and head, but he still makes contact in a head butting motion. And Chicho Arango is gonna win that 50-50 call all day and get that. Some will say favoritism, some will say bias. I just say he knows how to sell it and gets the call most of the time in those situations. Um, and then Ibiaga, man, like you're supposed to be the veteran presence, the veteran defender. You're supposed to know better, and you just don't do the number one rule of defending, which is let like number one rule is stay between the defender and the goal, and you just let him go. So Wednesday is just inexcusable. There's just nothing good really to talk about on Wednesday. Saturday, there's a lot of things we can talk about, which I'm sure we'll get to in the show. Where there's some highlights and some good things and a lot of good things. Even though we lost Saturday, um, it's just a shame we gave up that goal in the 96th minute to lose. Um, and all three other or shots on target were goals. So someone might say that it might be Martin's fault, but honestly, those shots, based on how they were, there's nothing he could do about any of those. So it's just very unfortunate, very unlucky. Kumingo touches the ball as well to have us not have a third goal, and then the offside goal supposed to be clear and obvious is what I thought a PRO and MLS said. I don't know how with the funky diagonal camera angle that's like this, you're supposed to see a straight line of Marco being clearly offside, but whatever. I don't get paid to be referee for a reason, apparently. So just unfortunate on Saturday, in my opinion. The loss on Wednesday, San Jose, is just inexcusable. Should never happen, and we just fell apart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I went
and
to. I
two
went to.
teams, by the way, Jose. I mean, when we said this on
Sure.
Tuesday, that are really good form right now, dealing with injuries of
Yeah.
their own, but are two teams that are just really clicking, unlike FC Dallas.
No, I just want to add that the team actually looked really good before the collapse on Saturday, and honestly, the difference was that Dallas simply didn't finish all the chances they created. That was the difference.
Yep.
San Diego did. San Diego got few chances and made the most of it, while FC Dallas had multiple shots. They were pushing for the win, and I appreciate that. And I thought that they were the attack was looking just the best it's looked. The only difference was they just could not. They were shooting the ball right at the goalkeeper every single time, and it was a little frustrating. But the opportunities were there. I mean, look, yes, both the combined losses just horrible. But let me tell you, the attack during both matches is looking the best it's looked in a long time in both matches pre-collapse. So it makes you wonder. If Uruguay's out there, do the collapses happen? Because let's face it, at the end of the day, the San Diego match, you've got your number 3 and number 4 center backs out there with zero leadership. That they only allowed 3 goals. It is frankly, you know, amazing on my part. You have to wonder if San Diego had taken more shots, if they would have scored more goals. I mean, that's a number 2 back line right there. And the truth is, FC Dallas had no business being in that match, wherever that match was played, because of the combination of those two against a team that put up 5 against our number 1. So
All right, I like this
it's
line. I mean, and we
I'm
and we
just
didn't
saying.
even have a defensive midfielder at that point in the
No, and
game.
I'm
No
not trying to
true.
be positive. I'm just saying the reality is that back line performed better than we could have imagined. Could have possibly wished for. And frankly, I'm all for giving Alvaro more minutes going forward. I mean, that guy, 3 matches, and he's looked good in all 3. As far as I'm concerned, yes, he's made some mistakes, some rookie mistakes, but you can't tell me this guy hasn't looked good playing, in MLS Next Pro, and then comes up and gives us those kind of performances in 3 matches. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I mean the injury bug. Nolan Norris couldn't go the distance in this one. We hope he's going to be all right. But starting in that defensive mid position at the beginning of the game, and
And I thought he was having a solid game, by the way. And you have to wonder if him, being lost had parts to do with that defensive collapse.
yeah, it's a tough one. We're missing Ramiro. We're missing, of course, Keke with his red card was not there. He'll be back likely Friday in some fashion. And Osaze should be days away, maybe a week, maybe later this week he can get back on the field. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But and Sebastian Ibiago, of course, will be an option as well once again this on Friday. But yeah, we're missing a lot of guys. They cobble together, and I agree with you, Jose. I mean, I do think, if anything, the offense has looked better since the Sporting Kansas City match.
It's starting to click.
Click a bit. They're starting to feel free, and it's still not.
Despite missing one piece of the puzzle, if we need to find that other player other than Kamungo that's going to step in and do something, and I don't know that despite that, the attack still looked fabulous. So
we don't need to find him. We need to start him. His name's Logan Farrington. But
well, let's go ahead and hear a little bit of Quill post game here, and you could just see. I mean, his energy. Not the most riveting video interview, but it's just a head coach who's doesn't have a lot of answers right now.
I thought, gave up the first goal. But then again, showed the character that we've been showing a lot this year when we go down in the lead. We scored. Lucho's offside goal. You're talking about margins, and then we Tatar scores. I thought we created enough chances to win the game for sure. It just some of the decision making led to demise, and that's. What I told the guys is, I think we are where we are because we don't play an entire 95 plus minutes. We're in every game. You can take the 5-0 San Diego game out, but we're toe to toe with everybody. And we just have moments where we switch off. Tonight, their first goal is on a throw-in that gets flicked in behind Patrickson. We take a guy down. Like, that was a moment we switched off. And you can't do that at this level, right? Like, these are the margins that you win and lose by. And so we've got, until we become like the consistent, in a consistent manner that we play minute 1 through 95 with respect to organization, with grit, determination, and do the necessary stuff to take care of the details that go into winning. I don't feel like we value the details yet. But I would argue in every game, there's a spell or multiple spells where we're the better team on the field. And, take Cincinnati, Philly, tonight, San Diego's first. I truly believe we can beat anybody. I really believe that. Call me naive if you want. But I see what I see, and sometimes the game can be deceiving. And tonight, this one's gonna hurt, because at 2-1 up, we let our guard down. We let our guard down and got stung. And then
the third. I mean, again, it's learning how to win, and taking care of the details. We didn't take care of the details.
The fun
That
little
was
note.
rough to watch. In all honesty,
He's 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 yeah. I mean, he's feeling it, and I think we don't always see what goes on in locker rooms and the conversations that are happening, and I know there's been some chatter even this week about, hey, has Quill lost the locker room? Is he losing some guys? Is he riding guys too hard? There's all that delicate balance you have to do as a coach to get the best out of players. But part of my question back to him would be like, hey, as a coach, isn't it your job to be part of the details, like to look and say, hey, if they're going to do a throw in, this is where we need to be. We're going to drill that during the week. We're going to drill these late game moments, and when we're getting stretched out, to know what we do. And yes, knowing that we've got guys that are going to be playing that are not, are still working their way into the fitness or into the system or whatever. So that's part of my thing. It's like, uh, but also I wonder too, when a team has poor results, when you start to overthink things, and when Siki gets a breakaway in the second half, which he really should have finished off. It's like he was waiting for it to be just perfect rather than, dude, take a shot, just make something happen. But he kept wanting to dribble, take the extra touch. And I know it's crazy. He's running fast. But you wonder about some of those moments if they're just not in their head a little bit. And hopefully we've seen with the offense, at least getting out of their heads a little bit, getting a little more instinctive, and just letting the play come and making the choice, and yeah, sometimes it doesn't go right, but sometimes that's the way. When you wait for the perfect opportunity in the last final, you're taking the final pass every time. You give chances for the teams to recover. But a little side note too: the last time I saw Thomas Angel play was when he was on the LAFC 2 last year, and North Texas went down a man and just destroyed LAFC 2 in up here at Cal State Fullerton Stadium, like 4-0. So it was he had a terrible game in that one, as North Texas just destroyed them with down a man too. So that is also something very interesting, that they get a goal from this guy who couldn't really make the LAFC 2 stick, gets picked up by San Diego, and San Diego gets value out of them. And so credit to Mikey Varas, and credit to what they've got going on right now, because FC Dallas could use some of that. Could definitely use some of that. Anyway, let's shift. Go ahead, Jose. What do you want to?
I just wanted to say that that was a rough interview to observe. Because it looks like he's really doesn't have answers to why his team is performing the way it's performing. But I'll say this right now: look at how far we're into the regular season, and we've still haven't played our best three midfielders together in a single game. And I would argue those three best are Leggett, Kaique, and Pedrinho. With of course Costa starting. Those are our three best midfielders, and they've yet to play together at any point this season. Uh, of course, I'm beginning to lose faith that we'll ever see a healthy Paxton, and that's why I'm not including him in the best three.
Mm.
But I mean, take that for what it is. I'd like to see how this team does once that midfield is healthy, and frankly, I think we've seen a broken team for the entirety of this season, and we've yet to see this team start their best 11. You know, and hopefully that'll happen soon, because this team really needs it.
Well, let's shift to a little bit of hope, because I think that's the hope. One of the hopes is, yeah, this team's got to get healthy again, and I'd love to see an Asaze Augusto kind of pairing, a lot more athleticism.
Yeah, I do agree, but I'm more excited to see a legit Kaique pairing, because
Sure.
I'd like to see Kaique with some senior leadership out there guiding him and see what that looks like. Him and Pedrinho, I think Pedrinho can get that from Acosta, but I think Kaique can probably get more from playing alongside someone like Leggett. Uh, and that's what excites me. I think that's the pairing I'd like to see, frankly.
Oh, same here. I mean, Legit also has the defensive work rate, or at least defensive tracking back skill. I mean, he did it with Nico a lot, and did it also with Luxin as well, playing as like that dual 8 or like a dual 6, where he's playing a lot of like a box to box 8 with Alaramendi and go drop back into DM. I mean, there's multiple times where he was able to cover for Alaramendi if he went forward, and vice versa. And with Kaike being a natural DM who has done really well going forward with the ball and dribbling and passing the ball, but he can also track back and take it down cleanly and fairly while also being aggressive. It's a really good combo to have those two guys. That way, it also allows Pedrinho to kind of wander forward and explore and be what he's best at, which is not really sticking to one position at that left center mid spot, but really getting in underneath Musa or going out wide, like being able to like roam is how Pedrinho does well. He does really well at finding the pockets of space and then possibly feeding like an Acosta who's in behind, who can then feed Musa who's like the next man. Um, so I mean, again, the something I also like is Lucho and Musa are actually fully cooking a lot more. Like they're fully connecting a lot more. A lot of these 1-2s that we've been complaining about in earlier weeks are finally coming off. A lot of
I
these, fake out passes that they do or flicks to each other work out, or they go to the other players. Like it's something that the main part of the attack was going to be Lucho and Musa, and we were needing that to click and to gel, and it's finally clicking and gelling, and now magically the offense looks better, which has
well,
been a huge disappointment this season.
I think that coincides with Leggett coming back though, because I want to
Mm-hmm.
add that Pedrinho and Leggett both seem to show chemistry with the pairing
Yep.
of Acosta uh, and our man out top. So I'm just saying, Leggett makes he's like a glue for this attack. In all honesty, because they were missing that other guy. You know, instead of trying to force it to Acosta, it works better if the people around him can have chemistry with him, and you're seeing that with Pedrinho, with Leggett, and all of a sudden you've got four guys that are in synergy in this attack, and that's why the attack. That's why the attack's looking very good, and it can get better if we can get that fifth person on board. You know, um, well, fifth and sixth. Because frankly, we're talking about no, the second forward or the other winger aren't involved. So I don't know. I'm just saying if once we get Julio back and healthy, and if he can get in on that, I think it'll look amazing.
Well, other hope I think that is coming up down the line is that, and we're already starting to see news and signings trickle in across the league, is the summer transfer window, which I don't think opens up officially till July 7th. I could be wrong about that. Um, uh, but the news today that FC Dallas shared was that Sho Kafumana was brought last summer, was a summer signing on a year-long loan. It was one of these, classic FC Dallas kinds of movements that, hey, low risk, potential reward, and certainly I don't think it was something we look back on and say, man, this guy was a waste of a spot. He certainly gave some minutes at the end of last year and even in a couple spots this year that sort of helped the team. But clearly they've, with the investment in Kaike and Romero, and Nolan Norris, who needs minutes too. I think it makes good sense to pass on this, open up a roster spot, open up a senior roster spot and an international spot, and so that gives the team something to play with. The other nugget that was shared in our little chat on X from our buddy Sam is that Sam Sarver, who was signed up for a short-term loan over the weekend but did not make
Mm-hmm.
his debut for FC Dallas, was practicing in FC Dallas gear with the team, and now maybe they just needed an extra body. But with the way Sam Sarver has been just tearing it up with North Texas, it raises the possibility that FC Dallas can open up a spot for uh, a young player and give him that opportunity to come in and impress over the next half of the season and be an offensive resource. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that's just he was just practicing. I know North Texas players do sometimes practice with the first team, so um, so maybe nothing too much there. But hey, at least with Show out, and then the other one is Inasali, who is on loan to Al Riyadh in in Saudi Arabia, and um, you know with a purchase option, and we're just all waiting to see if that gets triggered, if they like what they see in that incredible global talent that we just know. I mean, he is. It'll be a steal if they pick him up. It'll be a big steal. It's
Okay.
and granted, I like him. I mean, he was fun with North Texas. He was a great player with that championship-winning team, but it doesn't look like if he has to come back, I think that creates some challenges for FC Dallas to find either another loan spot for him or who knows. But maybe they give him a little bit of time. I don't know, but I think it'll create some roster situations for them. So hopefully he is gone. So there's some possibilities there as well. Maybe that big question, Jose, that you lifted up that I don't really want to talk about, which is Paxton's future with the team, and when the salary information came out that he was on over $1 million salary with this team, which is super generous, was such an investment in them, and he's been a good player for this team. He's been like a spokesperson, for years now. Such a nice representative of the team, but you wonder if it's time to say to buy him out, to use that to free up some cap space and look at other ways to bring in help and let him recover and go where he needs to go on his long term journey, his career.
I mean, I hate to say it, but he's basically got he's got till the end of the season to show us that he can come back from this. Right now it just seems like a lot of false starts, and for a guy that you're paying $1 million to, as much as we love him, it's coming to that point. But he still has time. He still has half a season to show us that he can in fact come back from this. But I'm saying with Shogun and Carrera gone, I think this team, like you said, we're waiting on to see if Ali will also be gone. It This team can make some moves. Not a lot. It's one or two moves at best. And I mean, getting Sarver to the signed officially to the first team, I'm okay with that. We need
Yeah.
help. We need another player out there in the
Well,
wing.
yeah, I don't know if that would fall into the Carrera's departure, if that would open up that spot for him. But yeah, but he would give you at least another offensive option, which the team could use
Yeah,
another
I'm.
presence.
Yeah, but I'm saying they've got room to wiggle. I think if they can make another move here or there, uh, a trade perhaps. They need to get this right though. They need to bring in. I mean, what do you bring in? Where are you going to? Do you bring another winger in? Is Sarver that guy? Are you going to bring in? I mean, frankly, I'd like to see them at least bring in another right back. In all honesty, I'd feel a little better.
Yeah,
And then other than that, we just need to get healthy.
yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, get rid of Chu, please.
and Chu.
If he's not
That's another
six, six,
global talent. Global that
yes, but I mean, compare
rumored to
that to
be
Paxton.
worth $50 million. I mean, so if you get him for 10, 5,
I
Crazy.
mean, how
who's
about how
watching the
about you just
stream?
give us how about you just give us a salary and we'll call it a day? I mean, come on now. It's
Trying
it
to talk him.
for what they're paying that guy on that trade. I mean, he's getting outplayed by Kamungo, who hasn't looked great at all. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that says a lot. That you can't. I mean, you can't beat this version of Kamungo out of a rock. Uh, I don't know. I don't know how else I can say it. I mean, I we were just talking about Paxton, and at least I have faith that Paxton will at least at the minimum give us some minutes as a key reserve. Even if the injuries that keep him from starting, he will at least every time he heals up, he'll come off the bench. He'll give you those solid minutes. I can't even expect that from Chu.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm.
please move that guy, free up that spot. For that salary, you can bring in that another center back, you know, or another, I don't know, another winger to replace Chu.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure you can get somebody who'll give you solid minutes.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, the thing is, like Show's move has opened a international roster spot and a senior roster spot. We had Carrera who transferred away, which opens up one of those smaller spots, which is what I would assume if Sarver gets signed up would be one
Yeah,
of the supplemental
that's what I was
spots.
thinking.
So yeah, so if anything, if Sarver signs for Dallas and then goes on loan to North Texas, like Farrington did a lot last year, or even with like Sully, like signed to Dallas but loaned to North Texas, like that'd basically be what that would be for Sarver taking Carrera's spot on the roster. Leo Chu, I mean, dude's been injured, but then also the reason he hasn't played recently again, I think, is just because we might have a deal already sorted or possibly in the works, and the man's injury prone like nobody's business, so we don't want him to play to get hurt. So I think personally that's what that is just
Hope so.
because I mean the man literally played. He came into training camp like unfit. He came into training camp like very winded. Played against RSL and did all right, not great. Played against Kansas City, scored his goal, did really well in that game. Played Atlanta away, and then played against Seattle and wasn't great, and ended up getting hurt in either at the end of that game or during training the following week, and has only been back the past 3 games on the bench. So it's one of those things where is he actually healthy to where we could play him, or is he just, hey, we don't want to loan up anyone else, just fill the spot and we'll sell you later. Um, this team, I agree with Jose, needs a right back. I don't like Shaq Moore being by himself back there because both, I mean, Herbie and Enzo tore ACLs. Not even just Herbie going out on loan, just torn ACL. It's just like, okay, cool. So now we definitely can't even call him back from loan. Um, Torquato, I think, or Torquato can probably play right back if needed. Not a great option. We saw Farfan whenever Emma was injured play right back a game or two, but he was not great because he's so heavily left-footed. It's just, yeah, I agree with Jose. We need a right back because I mean,
Yeah,
I don't trust Ramiro starting and playing 90 minutes right back, even though he did all right for like the 20 or 30 minutes we used him there, and like one of the need to come back and get something out of this game at home games. Um, I hate to say it, I don't
not
like investing in our center backs because we already invest so much money in them. But if you know Ibiaga's leaving at the end of the year, which is all things are pointing towards him leaving, especially with that Abubakar salary number,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think if anything, get that good center back that's going to be. If we think Augusto is going to be that guy, then I wouldn't worry about it as much. But if we still think Augusto needs time, get your center back now in the summer when you have a bunch of time, if that makes sense, or like a bunch of clubs willing to offload for cheap, because it'd be a lot easier to get a deal done now and necessarily like maybe loan him back for the rest of the year for MLS, like the first 6 months. That way he comes into training camp fully healthy, ready to go with 6 months under his belt. He had his break in the summer and everything else. Like do that. We've seen MLS clubs do that for some of the best center backs in this league. So I'd be okay with that. I'm fine with running Augusto the rest of the season. To be honest, like Saragita once they're healthy. But one thing I really want is a because if we're gonna have Ramiro and Kaike at DM, I say DM's fine. Center mids, once everyone's healthy, we're fine. It's just the quality of center mids. I don't think Delgado should have been bought um, from his loan last year, especially with how he's played this year and how much reportedly it was. That kind of transfer fee could have been used for a decent center back or for a decent right back. Um, it's just one of those things, man. We have so much GAM too. There's so many decent players aren't being used by their clubs. Go out and sign someone, man. Go trade inside the league. We have so much GAM. We have money that we can trade inside the league too. Why do you offloaded Jesus and Paul because of DP status, but also to get that GAM and TAM and funny money in the league up. Go use it. Like be active. We have the roster spots open. We have an international roster spot open now. Go use it, man. Like
Mm.
don't sit there and sit on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it'll be interesting to see, and maybe the team can be a little more aggressive and move some other guys, but I don't, we'll just have to wait and see what's possible. But it's clear that they need some bodies just for health reasons, but also I think to push guys and to keep being where they need to be. Now let's shift over because I gotta exit here in a minute, but so just looking at the lay of the week, anyway, the lay of the land for the week, whatever that means. We got, of course, Thursday night. North Texas Soccer Club is back in action against Minnesota United FC2 at Choctaw Stadium. So it should be good to see them back in action. Excited to see, even though they may be missing Sam Sarver, and that'll be a different challenge for them. And then, of course, Friday night, 4th of July, kind of that annual tradition in Frisco, fireworks, drones, whatever. But another opportunity against a very good team. Minnesota United are a very solid team, and we got a big result against them on the road. I think we talked about that earlier in the week. But here's another chance for them to put together a complete game, get that home win, and try to start turning the page on this season into a new direction. So let's chat about that for a minute. But let's do predictions before we close down the show. But before we do that, one of the exciting things to look forward to later this week is I'll be posting both a written and also some audio from an interview. I got to speak with Mo CST, the Super Draft signing, who's started 12 games for North Texas at center back, a left-sided defender. Great conversation. Just a great young man, and who's still young, still has upside, and is hungry. And some nice little nuggets in there. And here's one of the little nuggets I think you guys will get a kick out of.
Of course, from Penn State, you get drafted at 71st overall in the Super Draft. Did FC Dallas communicate with you beforehand that they were interested in you? I mean, and how much had you heard about FC Dallas in North Texas and kind of their academy setup kind of beforehand? I mean, had you heard about the FC Dallas system even before the Super Draft?
So no, I didn't. I had no idea that they were even interested in me. Like, it just happened. And I knew about FC Dallas just because when I was at Montverde Academy, so our first team at Montverde Academy was really good. When I first got there, I was 15 years old. I was a freshman. They played against FC Dallas in a tournament, and they beat FC Dallas. Like, the first game, I think it was 4-0 or 3-0, something like this. And then in final, FC Dallas beat them 4-1, something like that. And I was so shocked because they were so good. It was the first American team that I saw that actually could play football. And I've been talking about this guy a lot with some of my teammates here, but they had this tall midfielder that played that game. And now I think he's in Europe, but he's really good. I just forgot his name, but he was a FC Dallas player too. So that's how I knew about the team. But
yeah,
coming up to the draft, I didn't have no idea about them.
Wonder if that was it Ten or Tessman or something like that?
Exactly. That is this guy that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's this guy.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good little nuggets of looking forward to you all hearing that and learning more about Mo and his journey and he's an intriguing option. It's a good year of seasoning for him. Still young, but kind of fun to know how life can take you all over the place, from Montreal to Florida to Penn State and now to Frisco, where though he definitely wants to really impressed by Osaze and wants to be at that level. So I'm really looking forward to two nights in a row of soccer action for FC Dallas, and hopefully North Texas going with the win. But let's just close out the show with our predictions for 4th of July, Friday night. How are we feeling? Are we going to go the hopeful, optimistic? Are we always going to be optimistic? Or we think this is going to be a tough one? Now, for me, if you had asked me yesterday, I would have said it's going to be a 3-1 loss at home. But this can't just keep happening. It can't keep. It's just like statistically, it's got to swing in the other direction. And in these 4th of July matches, I think they are a good karma driven time for FC Dallas. I think they'll get some positive energy, and so I'm going to swing the other way and go to 2-1 gritty victory with Kaique getting back on the field and balling out to make up for that red card. But that's my optimistic hope. Jose, Colin.
I'm going to go with 3-2 FC Dallas. I think it's almost a mirror of this past game, except this time FC Dallas gets it right.
2-1 loss. I've had it, man. Like I've been optimistic
He's like,
all season. I've watched that team struggle. Minnesota is a dang good team. I know when we played them in Minnesota, it was a 0-0, like gritty draw and everything. But man, they're getting all their players back from Gold Cup. I think all they were missing was Aloise, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, this is a team that also was depleted and went on the road, I think, to Minnesota and got a 2-2 draw. Or no, they went to New York, sorry, to New Jersey, got a 2-2 draw, and they're missing their goalkeeper, St. Clair. They're missing Aloise and one or two others. I think with them coming back,
It's fair.
I'm not optimistic, man. I think we lose 2-1.
That's fair, and we'll see. We're kind of waiting for this team to put it all together. But all right, well, we need to leave the show there. Jose, Colin, thanks for this. Thanks for your comments. Thanks everybody for watching. Of course, I'll post the audio on the site tomorrow. Hope you listen in, and of course, hoping that this week we come back next week looking a lot happier and more hopeful. But until then, thanks for all your support, everybody. Thanks, Jose. Thanks, Colin.